Hello and welcome back to the channel. Darren, I cannot wait to talk to you about my recent gym photography photo shoot with a couple of athletes last week. I want to touch on particularly the power of editing, and I think the power of photo editing in general gets overlooked. And I'm going to teach you how to nail gym photography. Hey, if you're new here, we are 2Times Creative. This channel is designed to help you dominate content creation while we do so. Also, photography, photo editing. I want to talk you through this. But to start off, where are your favorite environments to shoot? Because I must say, coming back from this gym wasn't a massive space, but I would have to put that up there with my top 5 environments to shoot in.
Well, I was going to hold you accountable and make you to tell me your top 3 or 5 things in order. But anyway, the favorite places to shoot. It's a great chat, and I'm glad we're having it. But I reckon, without having specifics, I think the good thing about gym shots that I straight away caught my eye is the lighting. Anywhere with like a cool sort of like
Grungy natural lighting.
yeah, grungy vibe with. But if the lighting is sort of like different, I reckon that always makes me jealous of other people's content in that situation, and always kind of gets me excited to shoot there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And
Sitting on the fence again, Michael.
That's all right. Darren does a bit of that, ladies and gentlemen. But to further your comments there, some reasons why it's my favorite is because of the natural light. So often with the gym, there's windows that you have to actually find your composition and shot to enhance or to utilize the natural light. But it's also just that grungy environment of hard work. I feel like if you're like us, you do enjoy editing photos to make the, I guess, consumer have a certain reaction or feeling towards it. So I want to take you through these gym photos. It was with 2 twin athletes.
I was going to say, please tell us who you're with, because we are twins and they are twins, and there's a connection.
Harry and Ben Mackay, Australian Football League athletes, and if you're not from Australia, that is the biggest sport in Australia. But let's just jump into it. So I'm going to show you first off some of the photos from the day. Now this in total was probably 15-20 minute shoot. Not a long one. What are you laughing at?
No, just technology issues.
And I'll show you up on the screen. We'll just scroll through and you can give me some of the reactions of what you were thinking and how you think I did. I want your opinions.
Yeah. No, I think
yeah,
they're not bad. No, I there is a certain love for gym shots, because like you said, if it's a real like grungy, for some reason your edits make me think it's a warm day as well. I don't know if it was.
It was a 38-degree day.
Jesus, there you go. Well, there you go, Michael. So the photos do tell a story, as we always say, but there is a certain element of like, yeah, I'm sweating my ass off. Or can we swear on this?
Yeah, we can.
I'm sweating my behind off and I'm just getting after it. And I know cameras are there, but I have no doubt, or I hope, that these are their normal gym routines in this gym. But they're great, and they kind of just bring that hard work to life.
Yep. No, I'm glad that shines through, because it was a sweaty day and it helped with the.
I kind of guessed, honestly, but then when I think about in Australia right now, in Melbourne, very warm. So educated guess.
Now, what I think gets overlooked is that they're just the final edit. So I want to show you the raw versions, and I'll identify 2 photos here to show you a bit of the process in Lightroom, because let me know if you agree with this, but I think the editing process in photography gets overlooked. I think a lot of people think what they see as the final edits doesn't have a lot of editing. But let's use these examples. Let me know what you think.
I was going to cut in there. Let me start off by saying that as I said before briefly, when Michael was on this day and he either got back to his computer, I think it must have been when you got back to your computer, he was very excited, which I like. Like, you were kind of just like, man, I love the editing process, or the editing process really brings out some joy in me, and you didn't word it as good as that, but that's basically
it ignites the flame is what I said.
Yeah.
No, I didn't actually.
Well, no, you didn't say that, but that's kind of what you meant, and you were just like, because when you're there on the day, especially on a 38-degree day, you're probably there and you're like, okay, cool, I'm in a cool situation, but you get home, you have a drink, you refresh, you look down at the computer, you look at the photos, and you're like, okay, I actually get a better appreciation for what I just did.
Yeah, no, you have hit the nail on the head, my friend, and what helps with that is a new preset that you like.
Because that's 100% true.
I've adapted one of our old presets, link below if you're interested, to create a new cinema preset that I loved, and this is what I used on these.
Show me the actual process. Nice screen recording here. I want to see.
Yes, thank you. So we've taken 2 of my favorite photos. This is probably actually my favorite photo of the whole shoot. And what's funny is sometimes when you take a photo, you don't realize it's your favorite photo, but you edit it, and for some reason it becomes it. So this is it from the start. It doesn't look like anything amazing, right? Like I think it's a bit crooked. It's a bit further back than I normally would. But once you actually crop in, and I'll actually play this, the elements in the detail just start to come out. Like, I don't know, just something happens in it. So
I feel the passion oozing.
dump the preset on.
Bit bright. Are you going to lower that?
Yeah, definitely lowered it for the grungy feel. Put the preset on, adjusted the crop.
Oh,
There's the darkness adjustment.
I see that.
I think I go to the windows here, and a tip I've got for everyone out there is when you have windows in your photo, use a gradient filter and enhance the natural light. So this is what I'm doing on this one. I've seen the windows in the back, and I've made go back and forth. I've made the natural light appear stronger than it actually is, because from the viewer's eye, it's not going to look fake. It's, there's a window there, so naturally you think that's real. Like, it would look weird if there's a window there and then the light shining bright from the other thing. And then the main thing I did on this one was just made the background a bit softer, brought the highlights down and the texture and the clarity, and sort of made the subject a bit higher clarity and contrast. So your eye goes to where you want it, because I think that is something that is consistent with photo editing. You want the first thing that people look at to be the main subject.
That reminds me, throwback a fair few years now in my graphic design university course. That was something we did it. It was just like, if you have a design, look at it, and what's your eye go to the very first thing that you notice. And if it's not what you want it to be, how are you going to change that? And photography, that's a nice little segue to my now career of photography involvement. So it's kind of cool. It's just like, what do you actually want people to look at? And most of the time it will be the subject, it will be the person's eyes, but maybe it'll be like something different. Maybe you want them to look at the windows for some odd reason. Or
something like this might be like a Puma Puma ad, or a shot for Puma, and you want them to look at the shoes. But I'm going to play on this video again, and I just want you to talk me through what you think. And do you like the overall look?
I do. No, I think you definitely nailed that grunge feel. And it's funny, like, this is a perfect example of, like, if you chuck a preset on it, it's not going to be perfect. So please do adapt it.
It's a starting point.
Don't chuck it. Don't buy a preset, chuck it on and be like, not good. Like, your photos and the environment is what's key. And that's what you've done. You're like, okay, this is what I want to do with the windows. I'm going to brighten them up. And I'm assuming you put like a round gradient, like, mask on each window, right?
I actually did it. So with this, on top right of the screen was the only gradient, because it's sort of the raw image. You can see the top right photo. That's the strongest bit of sun glare. So I wanted the gradient coming down on him, and I actually made this not a lot darker, but a fair bit darker than I typically would, because I don't know if you do the same thing. I feel like I actually sometimes make the photo too bright, because that is probably a reflection of how it looked, the raw, but the final edit is considerably darker.
Interesting. And so why was it your favorite shot? Was it a lot to do with the windows? Because
Great question.
I feel like that might be, because, like, look, if you look at that from basics term, he's not doing anything that interesting.
Yeah.
He's lying down. He's not the most attractive pose. Like, his legs are just kind of up in the air. He's not doing much. But why is it your favorite?
I think it is literally the windows, and it's a bit further back than I like getting the whole shot. I almost feels like it tells the story of a warm up. Like, I feel like because he doesn't look overly exhausted. It's like he's refined the art of, like, stretching or warming up.
I like that, actually, because my mind went to, it's actually if it is your favorite shot, it's kind of like a great example of the hard work and the warm ups and the stretching is not sexy. So the actual photo doesn't have to be sexy.
I love that. The word of sexy is a bit weird. It's a weird word, sexy, but I think I actually love the point, because it's like, look for the things that people aren't usually capturing, or the things that aren't, quote unquote, there's nothing happening. It's like when you shoot a sport game. How often are your favorite shots when someone's just in the backcourt of a basketball game just staring up or something?
Exactly.
Like, they're doing nothing.
They tell a different story. My question, do you know if that's Harry or Ben?
Ben, yes, I do.
I was going to say Harry. I don't know why. I thought Harry always had the bigger beard. Did you say Ben or Harry? I don't know. I don't even know the guys.
It's irrelevant. I want to show you a second photo, and then we can go into some of our tips for taking photos in a small space like this.
Yes.
So put you on the spot, Darren, you can think of them. But this is a second favourite photo. Again, I didn't think it was one of my favourites when I took it, because the raw shot, until you crop it in, it's quite low angle, nothing too special. But in the editing process, something just brings it out where you're just like, this is actually really cool, because you adapt the lighting to your scene. You make the lights from the top, the roof, and also behind him, you adjust how you want it to look. So let's press play on what I did here, Darren.
All right.
Raw.
I'm waiting.
Preset, again.
Too bright.
Pretty ugly from the get-go. You crop it in, straighten it up, find your composition, zoom in even more, and then you start playing with the lighting.
I'm glad you added more of the floor. I like that. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
a bit of the floor. Well, again, natural light from where it was coming from, and I think I actually make the floor darker to put your eye to him.
Hierarchy, graphic design university elements. I like it.
Yeah, and even darker again because I think you're missing out on the background sort of being a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that. It's good because I was actually going to compliment you. Your favorite two shots are quite far away, and I think early days in our photography career, we would have been too attracted to the close-up shots, and we'd be like, "Ooh, emotion, really close up." So, credit to you for your growth on that because they're two far away shots that I really like.
That's actually a great point. It's something that I've put a lot of thought into when you take basketball photos. I like the further back shots.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot, like even filming. I'm just like, you get a greater appreciation if it's far out. So
you do.
Exactly right. And you can see the elements of his workout rather than just like his facial expression. Depends what you're after.
Yeah. And there's place for both. But again, you can see there's quite a significant difference from the raw to the edited. And I think sometimes when people see a final image, they don't actually realize that. No. Like they just think that a bit of editing is an extra, quote unquote, but it's not. It's an important part of, I would say, all your favorite photographers or the photographers you might think of or be inspired by. Editing would be a huge part of their process.
Well, the like to put it into perspective, think about sending that raw to a client and sending the edited. You're like, there's nothing wrong with the raw, but it's not like there's much more feeling in the edit.
Yeah.
So I think that's why those process videos are good. So good job.
Good F-word feeling. Because that is important.
Yeah. Emotion as well.
I've got some tips for photographers, anybody interested in nailing gym photography or an environment like a gym. Number one, as you can see, is utilize a natural light. We spoke about that a bit before, but wherever there is natural light, feel free to enhance that and also darken the spots where there's not natural light. Basically, make your picture look as real as possible, even though you're editing it. That makes sense.
So you can it's almost like keep it real but exaggerate it.
Yeah, that's huge for these ones, and huge for spaces where there isn't just. So if you're in we'll use the basketball game. Obviously, everything is just lit from the top. Everything is bright. Whereas why I love this is because shadows come from all over the place. You can't really figure it out. It's just like what you take is what's in front of you.
Different
pretty obvious.
No, I mean it's a good point. Like it's just different atmospheres and what that can bring out in your photography, and that's why it's cool. Yeah, that's why the gym's cool because there's almost like unexpected elements in your way, which adds to it.
Yep. Shoot through objects.
We love that.
We've talked about this before.
The amount of times you've said shoot through objects, but it's a great point.
You might not even notice it, to be honest, but they provide context of what's happening. So as we scroll through them, how many things are in front of me, particularly as I shoot through them? There's something there. We'll go through these. This whole shot it's what makes the frame. That's why I always talk about it. Tell me that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a wall, like literally a physical frame without physical.
But that's a beautiful clean shot. But there's something about having something in front of you to provide context of where he is and what he's doing.
Exactly. No, it's a good point.
That one's not. This one I sort of went nice with, but. I just think it's something that I didn't necessarily do when I first started photography, and I didn't really know about it, just utilizing what's either in your foreground or background to your advantage rather than, this is a classic example, Darren, if you've got a fan in front of you at a basketball game, they step out of the way, but you're actually trying to use their shoulder to shoot past.
Yeah, I've done it plenty of times.
You don't get, but you don't really, unless because we didn't study it, you don't really get taught that. That's just something you pick up.
Yeah, well, my mum went to, it's probably like, the fact that if you study photography, it's probably not traditional photography. It's like if there's something in your way, maybe just use it, and maybe just move it and focus on the primary person.
Move it out of the way.
That's why it's an art form, as corny as that sounds. It is.
No, it is. Final tip from me, and I want to hear from you if you've got anything to add. But get unconventional. What I mean by that is relating to what you just said. Not everything has to be a perfect shot. Not everything is the perfect composition because often you'll only sort of figure out after you adjust the crop or straighten up your image. Get creative, try shit. Like it's as simple as that. I'm not saying just spray and pray for the photographers out there. Just shoot whatever you can. But there's honestly an element of that where you are finding yourself, maybe you crouch down behind an object. Just take the photo. Like what's the worst that can happen?
No,
you miss a shot or you get a banger, as people call it.
Exactly. No, it's a very good point, and it brings us back to I really like the last question. What's your favorite locations for photography? Yeah.
Well,
Well, you said you had a top 3 or 5. Do you have any more locations at the top
no,
of your mind?
I don't. But I want to reiterate.
Liar.
I want to reiterate why it's my favorite, and I think it
Okay.
goes back to because it's, it's like an uncontrolled environment. Like it's controlled, but not to the point where you're creating all this lighting like a basketball court where it's just self-lit and everything's the same. There's grungy shadows. There's more feeling. They're telling the stories of what you're there for. And probably our favorite word, it comes back to being organic. You're not, there's no stage in front of you. You're just in the natural environment of them, in this case, athletes working out. So you work your way around them and create art based on what's already happening. So it's not, yeah, I don't know.
No, I think that's, you know what I got from that? Like nothing's manufactured. So
yeah.
they're doing exactly what they would be doing on any other day, and you were just rolling up with a camera. Where if you put it to the AFL footy field, like they are going out there in front of thousands, so that's automatically something different. The lighting's different on game day compared to practice. That's different. There's so many different elements of game day, or like it's not staged, but you're putting on performance. This is you're literally rocking up to their every day, every week thing with a camera and just capturing what's happened. So you kind of feel better about that, I reckon.
That's a very good point.
Thank you, Michael.
You've recapped why I love gyms. Are there any of your favorite environments that you can think of?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was not specific.
It's all right. You can give it a skip.
Yeah, no, nothing really comes to mind. Like I'm so used to sport fields, but I love the behind the scenes stuff. So media days, like
locker rooms. How about a locker room?
Yeah, no, behind the scenes is sort of like a category I really like. So I'm just gonna give you that.
Love it. Behind the scenes. I hope that helped. If you are interested in photo editing breakdowns, more of it, let us know in the comments because it is something fun to talk about. And as I cheekily referred to before, Lightroom presets, we've got them. So check them out. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.
Bye.